Fellas, opening round of the playoffs is behind us. On to the semis. Obviously, shorter video this week. Only 2 matches last week, 2 this week. We're getting into the final stretch of this season. We do have videos from our 2 losers this week, which is me and Chad. So we'll do that one first. Before we get into that, Char and Chad, bit of a stinker. Me and Ben also stinker, but for different reasons. Their match was not very high scoring. Ben absolutely thwomped me this week. It was almost a 60-point victory. Didn't really stand a chance, which we'll get into it more. To the playoff teams, to the teams who did not make the playoffs, complaining that they scored more this week than most of us, maybe win more games. And I can say that with love, and also knowing that Noto's definitely not watching this, and he was the loudest complainer out of everyone. So, let's hear from Chad first. Chad has some final passing thoughts on the year. Chad, your season is over, 7-7. You did get in the playoffs, a valiant effort out of your first year in the league. How are you feeling?
Well, boys, that's a wrap to my fantasy season. Hard fought, put it all on the line at the end there with Shedeur, and sometimes you just need Jacoby Brissett in your lineup to take the dub. Should have listened to Jared, right? But win some, you lose some is what it is. What a fun ride. Fantastic league. I mean, it all the way up until the end. We had no idea what the fuck was going to happen, and that's awesome. That's what you want, right? You couldn't make a movie that would do what happened this season justice. So just happy to be a part of that. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. I hope you guys let me play with y'all again next year. Now that I know y'all a little bit more, be more involved and stuff like that, I think it'll be even more fun. Hats off to all of you for what you're doing with this league, these videos, the shit talking, everything. It's just great. I commend all of you. There was never a single person that, got hung up on losses and thought the season was over and gave up. Like, everybody fucking fought to the very end, and I respect the shit out of that. I'm in a lot of leagues that usually give up like week 6, man, and it's stupid, right? But not this league. I learned I got to bring my A game for this one, do my research, and hopefully next year I have a better draft, start off a little bit stronger and stuff like that. But first time player in the league, I don't think I can be upset with making it to the playoffs. So I didn't have the caliber, I think, to take it all the way. So now I get to take a breath of fresh air and just watch football for fun again. And, good luck to Char and Omar and Sean and Ben in the playoffs. Hopefully we have some even more exciting matchups because it's not over yet. Obviously, going to be rooting for my hometown hero, Sean, at the end. And plus I lost to Char, so hoping he sticks it to him. No offense, Char, but I think it's going to be electric, man. Got 2 hot teams right now that were on the bye. We'll see what happens. I'm super excited to just watch football and just I don't know. I got nothing on the line, so it's nice, But, yeah, man, what a fucking crazy season. Could not have anticipated all the things that happened, making it to the playoffs, and just some of the crazy streaks that went on and whatnot. But it was a good time, man. I had a lot of fun. Hope to come back stronger next year. Do some research in the off season with this draft class, see who's coming in. It might be league winners next year and whatnot. So it'll be exciting, but I appreciate you guys allowing me to be a part of this. I mean, it's fucking insanity, and I loved every second of it. I learned a valuable lesson: don't schedule a Disney trip in the middle of the playoff run, because I think I looked at my phone for all of 2 minutes for fantasy purposes in the span of like 8 days. So head just wasn't there. Not to say it would have mattered, that I would have made the correct changes, but it could have, right? So that won't be happening next year. There will be no family fun. It will be me sitting on my couch watching football and tinkering with my lineups, and that's it. So, again, super happy to be a part of this. I thought it was the best. I think it's the best league I've ever been in, and by far this year. I wish everybody luck, a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Good luck to the guys still on the run. And I'm coming for y'all motherfuckers next year. So, peace, boys.
All right, fellas. I'm not going to lie. This is the second time I talked for 3 minutes, and then my computer glitched out. So, I'm going to recap what I just said here. Chad, 7-7. Not a great start to the year, but valiant effort. You played the waivers real hard, and we love that. You mentioned it yourself, like your early draft probably wasn't the best, but you made up for it with all the waiver wire plays throughout the year and a couple trades that you made. So We loved having you in the league. It goes without saying that you're obviously invited back next year, so I'm happy to hear that you want to return. But yeah, I mean, I loved having someone who hits the waivers as hard as you, even if you took a bunch of my players. You said it yourself. Everyone fought till the very end, so that was awesome. I love how active the league stays. Chad, you're a great out of the league, and you come up short because of Shedeur Sanders. That's kind of what it came down to. And again, I just talked about this, but I'll say it again because I know some of you guys are watching. Jacoby Brissett being benched in favor of Shedeur Sanders is what cost Chad the matchup. Outscored by 17 points. Chad lost by 15. If Chad would have made that call, Char is a first-round exit to Chad, and we're all laughing at him pretty hard. But that's not what happened. If my grandma had wheels, she'd be a bicycle. Chad, I think it makes it worse knowing that he could have won. At least for me, when I lose by 60, there's not really anything I could do. But Chad, it was right there. He had a chance. It just slipped through his fingers. Cortland Sutton with 24, Josh Jacobs with 23, Scary Terry with 15, Michael Wilson with 16, and then no one else above 10. Christian Watson getting hurt, obviously huge bummer for Sean as a Packers fan, and then Chad trying to make a run here in the playoffs. Tyler Warren's fall from grace has not broken 10 points in 3 of his last 4 games. Colts really fell apart, and then the Colts D. I think Chad was probably the only person in all of ESPN that started a combination of Colts D and Shedeur Sanders this week. Colts D was obviously not a very popular play going against the Seahawks. They did have 1 point, so they did outscore Char's defense of 49ers, which we'll get into. But Char, 49ers D, was a very popular play, 0 points, was led in scoring by Josh Allen and Puka with 24 and 27 respectively. JSN disappointed by his standards, 18 points, he's averaging 22, so below his average on the year. CMC with 15 after he was projected for 26. Aaron Jones with 9. Tet disappointed. Dalton Kincaid disappointed, but was the correct call over Mark Andrews, and then Char left some points on his bench too. Tony Pollard with 18, Adonai Mitchell with 17, Jaden Reed with 10, Ramondre with 10.7. So there were some points that Char left. Obviously, it didn't matter because he did end up getting the win here. But if he had lost, I'm sure those points would have been eating him up. Char comes away with a win here. He will take on Sean in the semis, which I'll get into in a little bit. But Chad, a really great first season, came in, immediately make the playoffs. We love that for him. Got a little too cutesy with it. He went for the moon. He crashed and burned. He came up just short, and it really is due to Shedeur Sanders. And that's tough, but you live and you learn. I think next year he knows what to expect with the league, and we love that for him. We're excited for next season for him. But I'll kick it to myself here. I did make another video for you guys, recorded in that same recovery room. I did do a cold plunge, didn't record at that time. So I'll kick it to myself here. We got waxed by 60, so how are we feeling? What's up, fellas? Infrared sauna. Just hit a nice little cold plunge. Not how we wanted this season to end, but honestly, we're happy we don't have to look at this roster anymore. When you start 7-2, you'd never want to finish the season 7-8. If we could go back and not make that trade with Sammy for QJ and Kenneth Walker, we would go back and not do that because that trade resulted in me getting Genty, who ended up not being good, and I also would have liked to have had Kittle and Chase Brown back. If we could go back and not draft Justin Jefferson, who might be the biggest loser from a ADP standpoint because you had to play him because he was Justin Jefferson and he just sucked. We'd do that. But I don't think it was a coincidence my team started sucking when Jonathan Taylor stopped scoring 3 touchdowns a game. It was a great effort where you come up 1 year short of a three-peat. We will pick a team to root for in the postseason here. I think it's probably going to be Sean. Because I don't want Omar or Char to tie me in total championships for the league. But maybe we pick Stern because he beat me, he swept me on the year, knocked me out. So we'll see. We'll see who we end up rooting for. But I appreciate y'all. Love this league, like I say every week. I appreciate you guys still watch these videos. And we're moving on to next year and hopefully planning an in-person draft. All right, I'll catch you guys later. Yeah, so obviously not feeling great. That was a tough loss for sure. We honestly thought we were going to win after Mike Evans outscored his projections by 10 on Thursday Night Football. And if you don't know, I was stuck in the Boston airport for 10 hours on Sunday too. So I was watching the Patriots lose. My flight got delayed 9 to 10 hours. So not only did I watch the Patriots lose, and blow a 21-point lead. I got to watch James Cook score 3 touchdowns on my team in real life and also end my fantasy season. So when James Cook scored his 3rd touchdown, I knew that my season was done, which was tough because it was like 2:30 on Sunday. So Stern's team absolutely went off this week, 152 points, 22 from Jalen, 31 from James Cook. We just talked about him. DeAndre Swift with his 2nd highest scoring game of the year, 22 points. Amon-Ra with his highest scoring game of the year, 41 points. James Cook with 31, his highest scoring game of the year. So just 3 guys with their best or second best performances of the year. Stern's team clutched up real nice. Zay Flowers with one of his better performances of the year, 15 points. Jake Ferguson and George Pickens both disappointed. And then Kenneth Walker sucked too. The thing is, Stern left points on his bench too. DJ Moore had 22 points. TJ Hawkinson had 10 points. Bill had 15 points. So, like, this could have been worse than it already was. My side of it, I've talked about it a little bit in that video I sent, but, you know, Drake May had 20 and no one else topped 20. Jaguars' defense was a good play with 11 points, but, I mean, I didn't even break 100 again. Gianti with 8 points. Mike Evans was great with 19. Wandale was great with 16, but, you know, I was like, I'm not going to be cute with it. I'm going to play Hunter Henry over Darren Waller after I did the opposite the last 2 weeks. And again, it wouldn't have mattered. But just adding insult to injury, Darren Waller, 25 points, Hunter Henry, 2. So just, it really wasn't my year, the second half of the year. Like, Omar joked about it. We literally beat Omar, took his money, and then we pieced out for the rest of the season. That's exactly what happened. Justin Jefferson with 4 points. He was just atrocious the second half of the year, ever since week 12, 8, 2, 3, and 4. So he was drafted 4th overall, and his receiving average in his career has went down by like 6 yards over his whole career because of this season. So it's been that bad for him. And then Jaden Higgins at this point as well. So, I mean, there was nothing I could have done with this active roster to beat Stern this week, even if I start Darren Waller and Luther Burden. Like, there was literally nothing I could have done. So I can hang my hat that I gave it my darn best, but it didn't matter. So Stern gets a win here. My season is done. The 3P comes up 1 year short. We were very happy we don't have to look at this team anymore, although hopefully we'll be able to get Drake May back in the locker room. That's probably about it from these fellas here that we're going to try and bring back for next year. So, Stern, congrats to you. Let's get into these matchup previews for the semis. Our first matchup here, let's do Omar and Stern first. Omar comes in at about a 4.5 point favorite, 135 to 130. These two teams played twice during the regular season. Omar swept it 136 to 114 in week 5, and then 95 to 93 in week 13. So Omar gets a sweep here. That second matchup was pretty brutal. If my computer will load, I am curious what the hell happened there, but it doesn't look like my computer's loading, so I don't care that much. We'll do Omar's side first. You know, he rested his starters last week, which we can't help but respect. If you saw, he did score 28. He put all of his bench players in. Newly traded for Stephon Diggs has not found his way into the starting lineup for Omar, which I guess makes sense. He's playing against the Ravens, and Omar doesn't want to root against his own team. Sure, why not? Sky did say this. Omar's matchups are horrible this week for the most part. Jared Goff against Pittsburgh, that's fine. Travis Etienne against Denver, that's real bad. Jahmyr Gibbs against Pittsburgh, again, we got the little stack there. It looks like Omar is benching Lamar Jackson. So I'm sure he's going to flip-flop on that. Lamar didn't practice today because he is the flu, because he is the immune system of a Victorian child. But, you know, that's par for the course for Lamar. Devontae's got a great matchup this week going up against the Commies. Olave against the Jets. Kelsey against Tennessee, but that's going to be with Gardner Minshew at the helm. Honestly, we'll see if Kelsey even suits up this week. He looked like he was ready to retire after Pat Mahomes got hurt. He's pretty checked out. So I'll be interested to see if Omar leaves him in or if he goes with the new Theo Johnson on his roster on the bench. Jamar against Miami. Sure. I mean, that's a good matchup. Miami's defense has been pretty decent, but they just benched Tua, so I'm assuming that game is going to get away from them pretty quickly with Quinn Ewers at the helm. And then Derrick Henry against my juggernaut Patriots, who have historically been very good against the run, although we just got absolutely 30-balled by James Cook. Saints D against the Jets, very popular play this week. I know Omar hates it when I like his defensive plays, but I'll say this, Omar, I like it. I tried to put a claim in for them in my other league in which I'm still alive, but I did not get them this week. So we will see. Stern, I don't believe, has made any changes to his roster since last week. Maybe he doesn't even know that he beat me, which wouldn't really surprise me because he hasn't made any changes. Broncos D against Jacksonville. Sure, why not? I mean, Jacksonville offense has been firing pretty well, but the Broncos D has been awesome. Kenneth Walker and George Pickens. Kenneth Walker hasn't been great, and they play on Thursday night, so we'll see if he catches that, if he wants to take him out, if he wants to leave him in. Not sure. I mean, Rams' run defense is pretty solid anyway, but I honestly don't know if Sturm watches these or checks his lineup before Sunday morning. So we'll see. Pickens and Ferguson, Zay Flowers, Amon-Ra against Pittsburgh. So, if Omar's starting Jared Goff, he's trying to negate some of those Amon-Ra points, I would think, because obviously Amon-Ra, in theory, can't score unless Jared Goff scores. DeAndre Swift against Green Bay. Not a great matchup, but Green Bay, they just lost Micah. That sucks a lot. Jalen against Washington, and then James Cook against Cleveland. That's not a great matchup for Stern either. So, I don't really know what I want, honestly, because if Stern wins, then it's like maybe I lose to the champion. If Omar gets a first-round exit, I would laugh pretty hard on that. I'm seeing this is probably going to be a lower scoring game, much similar to the Week 13 game. I don't love Omar's matchups. I don't know if Stern's keeping Kenneth Walker in, but if he is, that's a horrible play, in my opinion. And what am I but someone who just lost to him by 60? And I know Omar hates when I pick him here, and I really don't know who to pick. I think Stern's going to win, but I'm going to pick Omar. And I know that goes against normal logic, but that's how I feel. I think Omar's going to win. I think it's all leading up to, maybe an Omar collapse at the very end of the year. But his team has been firing. It's been hot as of late. Why not pick him, right? He's 9-5. He's in first place for a reason. He got the home field advantage, there is no home field advantage, but I'm saying it anyway. We're going to take Omar in this one here, fellas. And Omar, that one's just for you. In our second matchup, Char and Sean. I love this matchup. On paper, Char comes in at a higher favorite, 15 points, 137 to 122. These two teams split their regular season. Week 1, Char won by a score of 134 to 99, and Week 10, Sean won by a score of 173 to 134. So Char actually scored 134 in both weeks, which I think is pretty interesting. Sean was obviously very up and down throughout the year. This was one of his up weeks, but we'll do Char's side of the matchup first. He is projected for more points, and he's on the left side of my screen, so it makes it easier for me to go like that. Char has made no changes outside of his defense. So Josh Allen, CMC, Aaron Jones, Puka, JSN, Dalton Kincaid, Tet, Egbuka, all the same from last week. Josh Allen against Cleveland, that's not a great matchup, but it's Josh Allen. CMC against Indy, that's probably fine. Indy's falling apart. Aaron Jones against the Giants, sure, why not? Puka and JSN playing each other on Thursday night. And for those of you that don't keep up with the times, Puka went on Aiden Ross's stream this week and just absolutely is clowning around. So he's definitely not locked in. Would be absolutely hilarious if Sean McVay benches him for his antics this week during the fantasy playoffs. Literally would be probably one of the funniest things of all time, in my opinion, because I don't have Puka. Tried to get them in the facility. Complained about the refs publicly. Just, if you are not hip to what he did today, please go look it up. Kincaid, I don't know if he practiced today. He's popping up as the Q. Tet did not practice today, which is new for him. Ankle and foot injury, so gotta hope he's okay. And then Egbuka, who's just fallen off tremendously over the past few weeks. Char still has him in. Bills defense against Cleveland, very popular play. I like it, Char. I like the play. Sean's side of the matchup, we're getting gritty here. Devontae Adams currently projected for 0 points, so he's on the bench, the hamstring injury. If he keeps him out this week, that's gonna be a tough blow for Sean, especially going up against Puka. Jordan Love against Chicago, Achane against Cincy. That's a fantastic matchup. But Tua was just benched, so we'll see how good the Dolphins in general look with Quint Ewers back there. Breece Hall against the Saints, Romeo Doubs against Chicago, Jameson Williams against Pittsburgh, Colby Parkinson and Kyren Williams on Thursday Night Football against the Seahawks, Michael Carter against Atlanta, the de facto RB1, unless Amari DiMercato emerges, and then the Eagles D against the Commies. So, Sean's got some guys in his locker room. I know he's thinking about starting both Rams running backs. I know what's crossed his mind. I know he's thinking about going 3 tight end out. I'm curious to see what he's going to do. But you can feel the passion from Sean's locker room from here. You can tell that he wants it more than Char. Char has been cocky. He's been talking. He's been chirping. And he was a Jacoby Brissett over Shedeur Sanders away from being a first-round exit after all of that. Obviously, that's not what happened, so Char, don't come at me and be like, well, that's not what happened. Yeah, I know that's not what happened. That's why I'm making this video talking about your game. Obviously, Char's a 15-point favorite here, but I genuinely think Sean wants it more than him, and the boys in the locker room know that he wants it more. If Tet doesn't play this week, he's boned. If Kincaid doesn't go this week, he's boned. If Puka gets benched for his antics this week, which would be the funniest thing of all time, he's mega boned. You got to hope that he's just on like a limited snap count or something, or just benched for the first quarter. That would be hilarious. We're going to take Sean in this one. I think he just wants it more. But that wraps me for your quarterfinals recap, semifinals predictions. Thank you all for watching. For those that did, best of luck to everyone left. Go Pats this weekend.